Welcome back to Play the Game HQ. I'm Daniel, and in this video, we're going to teach you how to play Knarr from Pandasaurus Games. In Knarr, players will recruit a team of Vikings to send out into the world to discover new territories, build wealth, and increase your reputation. To set up the game, put the scoreboard in the middle of the table, and then put the blue and green decks above the board separately, and then reveal 3 cards from each deck into 2 separate rows above the board. Prepare the Viking deck by removing the cards that don't match your player count, and then put the shuffled cards into a face-down deck and reveal the first 5 cards into the 5 spaces below the scoreboard. The color on the cards don't need to match the spaces on the board. Give each player a ship with 3 bracelets and 3 recruit tokens, and decide whether the game will be played on the normal side or the advanced side of the ship. The tokens slide into the side of the ships when they're earned and are taken out when they're spent, so you can never have more than 3 of either token to spend. Each player is going to take 2 different colored cards from the deck. Put those in front of you to make your crew zone, then slide 1 recruit token and 1 bracelet token into your board. Put the tokens matching your ship color onto the scoreboard. To keep things simple during this video, I'm only going to have my markers on the board, but in a normal game, every player would have their markers on the board, and they are allowed to share the same space. The circular marker goes on the victory point track around the outside of the board, and the square one goes on the first space of the reputation track in the center of the board. Each player draws 3 Viking cards into their hand, then put all the destiny tokens face down and randomly choose one to pick the first player. During the game, you'll be recruiting Vikings into your crew and organizing the Vikings you recruit by color in your crew zone. Once you have the right crew, you can send them to explore and claim cards from the 2 rows above the board. The cards have a few different icons that you'll see throughout the game. This icon gives you a recruit, and this icon gives you a bracelet. This one gives you a victory point, while this one moves you up on the reputation track. And this icon lets you draw a card from the deck and put it into your crew without taking any assets. Players take turns going clockwise around the table. To start your turn, move your victory point marker forward based on the highest space that your reputation marker has passed. So if my reputation marker was here, I would move up 2 spaces to start my turn. Then choose whether you want to recruit or explore. To recruit, put a Viking from your hand into your crew zone. If you already have a Viking of that color, stack it on top so that you can still see all of the rewards at the top of each card in the column. And if you don't have a Viking of that color, start a new column. Then take the assets shown at the top of every card in that column. So I played this green card into the green column, which gives me 1 reputation and 1 victory point. And you can take those rewards in any order that you want. Once you've played your card and taken the rewards, take the card from the space on the board that matches the color that you played and put it in your hand. The card doesn't have to match what you played, it's the space on the board that matters. So I played a green card, therefore I would take the card from the green space on the board and put it in my hand. You also have the option to play a recruit from your ship to take a card from any space instead of the matching space. Then replace the card from the deck and it's the next player's turn. Once you've built the right crew, you can choose to explore one of the destination cards instead of recruiting on your turn. Each of the destination cards has a cost in the top left corner, and these are the crew cards that you need to discard from your crew zone to explore that card. So this card would need 2 blue and 2 red cards, and this card would need 3 Vikings of all different colors. When you're exploring, you can choose to pay 1 or more recruit tokens from your ship instead of Viking cards, and each token you play is going to replace any 1 card from the exploration cost. So to explore, choose a card, pay its cost, and put the cards you're spending in the discard pile, and then take that card and put it above your board and immediately take the reward shown in the top right corner of the card, then replace the card from the deck. Once per turn, either before or after your action, you can trade by spending bracelets to collect assets from your ship and the destinations you've explored. To trade, spend 1, 2, or 3 bracelets to collect all of the assets shown in the first, second, or third column at the top of your ship. 1 bracelet lets you take all of the assets from the first column, 2 lets you take everything from the first and second, and 3 lets you take all 3 columns. So by spending 3 bracelets, I would gain 2 crew and 3 victory points. Once you finish your turn, play continues clockwise around the table. If the Viking deck is ever empty when a player needs to draw a card, shuffle the discard pile to replace the deck. And if there's no cards in the discard pile, whoever has the most Viking cards in their crew zone has to discard 1 Viking of their choice. The end of the game is triggered when a player reaches 40 or more points on the score track. When that happens, finish the current round so that all players take the same number of turns, and then the player with the most points on the score track wins. If there's a tie, the player with the most recruits and silver bracelets wins. Once you're comfortable with the standard gameplay, you can add in artifacts. To use artifacts, pick a random artifact card and place it next to the board during setup. During the game, after a player's action, if they meet the conditions on the artifact card, they get the rewards shown. So for this card, if a player takes an Explore action, they can discard a Viking from the board and replace it with the card from the top of the deck. And the rulebook explains the conditions and rewards for each artifact. And that's Knarr. If you have any questions, be sure to leave a comment and we'll get back to you as quick as we can. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you later. Bye.